about all black men are violent and they commit blue-collar crimes. And by blue-collar crimes, we're talking about the drug dealing and the robberies and the carjackings and all the stuff that we've heard about. That's the stereotype. Except for the serial killers. We don't really do the serial killing thing.
Yeah, we're not really known for that.
Which has been brought up. People are like, oh man, black people are so dangerous. Yeah, the serial killers weren't black.
We don't really be trying to kill multiple people like that. It'd be like you might have that one person you want to kill.
And normally, exactly. Normally it's not impersonal. We don't, if you kill, normally it's more personally related and something. But in general, that's stereotype. And that goes a long way. Black men are dangerous. I
hate that stereotype.
Hide your kids, hide your wife. Black men are dangerous.
I hate that stereotype because there's so many that are not, and so then they get a bad rap or they get mistreated because of this stereotype. I mean, it could be just like you said. You could just be tall.
Yep.
Now they're threatened, or just have a big build. And
I have had white people jump out of my way. If they were in my line of walking, I mean literal jump. Like they left the ground to move out of the way. Yeah.
And you're over here not even trying to be on that.
Yeah, what? Yeah, but they just had this fear and they're scared. They had the stigma, but you know what? I don't completely blame folks' mentality with that because we create opinions and thoughts based on our input, information that we have presented. And a lot of eye-opening things for me occurred in college because I would talk to some of the white students and they would have this, they either their interactions with black folks is either limited or exactly zero. They have never in person met, dealt with, interacted, relationship, nothing with a black person. They're a small town and it didn't happen. So it was two options. Either you had the person that was fascinated by us, like, oh man, I finally met one, can I touch your hair? Or it was this fear. It was their education on black people was BET. That was their, and they would say, "Oh man, I was seeing y'all in the videos, and then I got to college, and all of y'all don't look like Nelly." No, we don't do all that. All right. And most of them, there were people that were fearful. There were people that were fearful, oh man, I heard not to go to East Liberty ever. Never go to East Liberty. It's almost certain death if you went to East Liberty. They were so, and it was bad because they want to come hang out, and we're going to the Shadow Lounge. Isn't that in East Liberty? Well, I can't go, but my parents told me never to go there. It's so bad.
Was East Liberty that bad?
At the time, with the college, no, it wasn't the 90s. But it wasn't like it is now. Now it's, part of Shady Side. No, it wasn't that bad. It's Shadow Lounge. It's...
I used to go to the Shadow Lounge, but I don't.
And you're still alive. Look, you survived East Liberty.
But I've been here for 10 years, so I don't know what was going on prior to that.
All right. In the 90s, it was still a hood. It was hood in the 90s. The projects were still up. There was crime, but it wasn't certain death. It wasn't, you're in the middle of a war zone and you're, going to definitely for certain get robbed and you're going to die. But that was the fear they had. When you mention East Liberty, whoa, we can't. And I was all right, it's because that's what they hear. They watch the news, the local news. and all they hear about is who died today and where they died. They died in Homewood, they died in East Hills, East Liberty. That's what happened. So that's the input that they have, which is why I always encourage people to kind of get outside of the sensationalism of local news and the news period. I don't watch local news. I don't watch local news because I know that they have to sensationalize everything to keep the ratings up for the advertisers, and they have to fill the time. They have to fill
I
up the
don't
time.
watch. I don't watch the news either. I don't either.
It's just
I don't need the negativity. I work in a hostile
That too.
environment, so I
That
want
too.
my time away to be like positive.
Yeah.
Sometimes work is positive, so please don't get me wrong for those who are listening. But when I leave there, I want like
Right.
I want fun
Right.
and care.
And, yeah.
Self-care.
I get it, because the local news is worse to me than even. I mean, national's pretty bad with this, but the local news is even worse because they have less to report on. So they sensationalize everything, and it's like, will your snow shovel kill you this winter? Next at 11. Like, it's like, well, it's not even like that. Whatever they got to fill time up. So they'll make something seem so bad, so dangerous, get you to tune in. But this is what people in the suburbs, in the rural areas, this is what they hear from the city's local news. So now they're on the lookout for the badness that's happening.
Yeah.
And so now it's over decades of, black people are dangerous, or even now with the protests that are happening, Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, and all those things, they're seeing rioters, and mostly normally it is people of color that's happening. They'll show that, burning and looting and attacking people, and so then now it's okay. This is what black people are doing. They're violent. And they didn't show the hundreds of others that are peacefully trying to make a positive. They do that, and then so now the stigma's there about black men. You know what, people? I need y'all to go out and just befriend a black man today. Just do that. Just befriend. Find your LeVar Burton. Find your Wayne Brady. Have I ever heard about LeVar Burton getting violent?
Reading Rainbow?
That's funny. That's funny.
I
The
can't.
most violent he's ever been was when he was in Roots and he took the whip off the dude that was beating him. That's the most violent he ever been.
I can't. I just keep hearing Reading Rainbow.
Right. Exactly. Like, I need to go out there and, for real, just having more interactions. And as black men also, introduce yourself. Diversify. Change the narrative. Change the narrative.
Right. So we got anything else on our list?
On our list. Let's check the list. We're going off a list. Oh! All black men, this is the last one. All black men, great dancers, and they're awesome at music. All right, so this one's actually a really old one as well. This one's a really old one as well. And it goes along with the CP time.
I don't think it's true, but I wish it was. It's always weird when a black man can't dance.
See, you go along with it because you expect black people to always have rhythm. But there are tons of black people who don't.
I am not.
I'm not one of them, but there are a lot of them who do not.
I'll be the judge of that.
Okay. But I don't think people understand this. This is the extended version of like CP time. Black people are always late. Unless it comes to music, then you can set your watch to them. That's the rest of that. So we're late to everything except for when it comes to music, then we're right on time.
All of that comes from our culture. It comes from Africa.
Yeah.
We got the drums, we got the music popping off. We start dancing
Uh-huh.
from a young age. They start,
Yeah.
all of that. It's even CP
Boy.
time is a from African. Like if there's a party there, it's all day. Like you
You're
don't have
right.
to get
It is
there
part of
at
the
a certain
culture.
time.
A lot of color, people of color. But even though it's not even people of color, every culture has their music. There's people within every culture that are timely with music, and some that are not. And then you have the ones that are like half and half. So I don't know. Do you know any musicians where they're awesome musicians but they can't dance? I know a few.
It's
Oh,
always
they're
weird to me. It's always
yeah,
weird.
right. Like they're super on it with the music, man. They hitting all the spots, but then when it comes to dancing, it looks real bad. They
I
can't
mean,
dance.
it's a lot. Even with singing, like if you reach a certain level of talent, that means you're not gonna be able to dance. Like when you reach like that Mariah Carey level of talent, you're not gonna be able to dance.
It's the focus is different. Like Marvin Gaye couldn't dance. Marvin Gaye was a horrible dancer. The lead singer of the Four Tops, his name is Levi Stubbs. Horrible dancer.
I just don't understand how you could just be horrible. But yeah, you have to start when you're young. You got to start when you're young.
Yes
And
and no. I didn't learn
get,
till little. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. We be friends, right? I didn't really start hitting it with the dancing thing until maybe I was like, I don't know, 10, 11.
but that's old. That's young. Because you're starting to
Oh,
you're getting that freedom of your body. You're starting to get to know your body, letting the
all
music
right.
to you.
Now
So
I'll hit all the dances. Whatever you
you can't
want to put
be
it out
like
there and do all the
18
dances.
just now trying to learn to dance.
Hey, hey.
Unless you
But see, I've met them though. I have met them. I have met the black men that can't dance. I remember
well,
this one dude. We went to some academic program, something, and we were like maybe 16, somewhere there, 16, 17, whatever. And me and the friends I was cool with in the program, we threw like a little dorm party. It was at like a Penn State, like in the dorms and shit. And we did like a little dorm party. We're like 16, and we invited one of the kids. The dude was a really super smart black guy, a little awkward, whatever. And we were talking to, hey man, like what girl you liking tonight? Like who you want? And he picked somebody, so we arranged a dance. All right, yo, she gonna dance with you. And he didn't know what to do, and he started flapping his arms like a penguin. And I mean, he is flapping his arms. He didn't know what to do, and we didn't know how to help him. We were like,
yeah, once
well,
he's already in there now, like you just gotta let it happen. I don't know. I don't want the non-dancing man to find me because I love to dance. Like I
I
really love.
got you. I
So like
got you.
I don't want the not like if you're single, don't come to me if you can't dance.
Got you. But this also goes along with this, man. Even though I'm not dancing, I got you. I mean, most women don't like men who can't dance, but the expectation, the assumption, not only for black men, but even black women, just being black, period, you're expected to know not only how to dance, but know all the latest dances. Like,
Yeah,
you're supposed to
people looking
know.
over at you like you supposed to be
Don't,
teaching
don't,
them.
don't you know? You're like, no, I don't know. Now it's different from me and you because me and you are also music entertainment, so we might be ahead of the curve on some things just because but they expect every black person to keep up. I know several black people, they don't keep up with pop culture. They have no
Right.
interest in it. They don't. No, they're not. They don't know the latest dance. They didn't know the latest dance when it was in high school and college. That wasn't what they were interested in. That's
They
not
don't
what they
care.
do. Even if they could dance, that's not their focus. This wasn't what it was. Boom. So that's such a plus. The assumption that black people only listen to hip hop and R&B.
That's a huge one.
I can't stand that.
Or the assumption that black people automatically voted for Obama.
Yeah, there's that one.
I quit assuming that you know what I'm into, who I voted for, what my beliefs are, what music choice I have, and
well, yeah, the music
whatever.
thing, as you know me well enough to know that. Yeah, I love the black stuff. I love black stuff so much that I kind of got bored with it. I explored so many, plus the way I grew up with stuff. Yeah, rock. Well, one also, I need to make this out there known that most of the American music that we have, whether it's blues, rock, whatever, all have black origins. Normally, the originators and even the instrumentation, chord progressions were created and cultivated by black artists, and then they were stolen by the industry to have other Pat Boone type people take over and push it out there. So then those black people that feel like rock and country are white genres, you're wrong. Don't say you're wrong.
Right.
You're
I'm
just
glad because
flat
my
ass wrong.
mother, she always opened us up to new music, new movies.
Good.
I grew up watching musicals. She loves
Awesome.
musicals. She loves Western. She loves all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
We listen to all styles of music. And
All of
like
it.
when I first started singing, I was classically trained, so I had to learn a lot of classical music, jazz music, stuff like that. I do want to hip you and our viewers to, there's these two young boys on YouTube. They're 21 and their page is called Twins the New Trend. And so they're sitting back and they are reviewing music, but they're reviewing classics and not just black classics. But like they're listening to soul music, they're listening to country, they're listening to rock, and they listen to their fans. So like if you type underneath like, hey, the Twins, they should listen to this, they do, and they sit there and check it out. And they do comedy skits as well that they'll review as well. And so it's called Twins the New Trend. They made it on Fox and some other channel. I feel like they was even on CNN, but I might be wrong about that. But it's called Twins the New Trend. It's two young African American boys aged like 21, and they're just chilling with each other, listening to different music, and it's starting to become like a phenomenon. Like people are like, yeah, like I caught them and it was like they were watching Whitney Houston, I Will Always Love You for the first time.
People don't even know that's a Dolly Parton song. That started off as a Dolly Parton song.
Right. And they didn't know that. They had never even heard the song before because they grew up only listening to rap. But then there's another video of them listening to Jolene, Dolly Parton. So they're good. Twins the New Trend. Check them out.
Cool. Yeah, check them out. Follow the trend. You know what? I want y'all, for anyone who's not a black man, find a new black man to be a friend with and listen to something that is not your normal genre. Pick the genre you think is the wackest. I want you to find one song you like.
Yes.
I'm telling you. And if you're having some trouble, hit me up. You're having some trouble, hit me up. And we're going to solve this mystery together for you. We're going to find you your favorite polka song, which I have.
If you can't find a nice, cool black man to befriend, Brendan's a cool black man to befriend. So you can.
Well, thank you. There we go. Hit me up. I'll be your new friend. And we're going to find some new music. What's bad is the only people that really going to see this are going to be friends of me and you anyways. They already know, right?
Right.
Okay, but yeah. So that needs to happen. Y'all need to diversify your portfolio on everything.
Any final thoughts?
Yeah, diversify your portfolio in all aspects of your life. Everything.
So yeah, Diversify your portfolio. Get to know some Black men because they are super dope. And don't listen to all of these stereotypes, just a couple of
Just the big dick one. Just playing. I'm just playing.
them. And the music one. And you know what's another one we didn't mention though?
Which one?
About Black men dressing well.
Oh yeah. Okay. There's that. So, you know what? This actually ties in a couple things. Something that's very noticeable when it comes to comedians. Think about the Kings of Comedy, right? Think about the Kings of Comedy, and they came out super dressed to the nines all the way, suited and booted. Most other counterparts, like comedians and stuff, they don't do that. They find it counterproductive because as a comedian, normally you have to kind of look less than your audience, kind of dumbed down, kind of whatever. They don't do that. There is a stigma.
Relatable or whatever.
Right. Now, do you know where that comes from? That's slavery related too. Can I share? Ooh, pick me. All right. So, the whole term Sunday's best. Sunday's best is where slave owners would, be Christian and they would take their slaves to church. And when the only time that they ever dressed their slaves in nice clothes was when they went to church, where the other slave owners would bring their slaves, but they would show off their slave and look how affluent and how well my plantation is going. I have my slaves dressed in awesome clothes. They look at them. They look spectacular. And that's where it comes to the term Sunday best, which is why even now when we go to church, people wear their Sunday best, and they got the hats, and they got the feathers, and they got all the stuff.
I believe that to be true to an extent, but then I also just know us to really be into fashion. It's just that's a natural part of
you're
our
right. We are. We are. So like, it is part of it.
Yeah. So I think it's a little of both. I think it's a little of both. Because we dress to the nines. If you see us, especially like see like videos and pictures of Africa, not the impoverished areas, but you
mean the ones on TV?
Yeah, not those areas.
For 12 cents a day, you can feed. Yeah.
Right. But when we're dressed to the nines. We got our hair decked. Our hair is laid.
Yeah.
Outfit laid. That's
it's
like
a part of our thing.
It is
part of it.
It is definitely something we brought down. But then I do believe, like you said, let's get them looking nice.
Right, which is a problem because we'll prioritize clothes and shoes over, let's say, getting your car. We'll be on the bus with the $300 shoes, but we won't invest in other modes of transportation. We will make sure that we look the flyest. We have to. Let me feel. There's a pressure put on, as you said, to look the best. To have that. Think about the 70s pimp, the stereotype of a 70s pimp.
Mm-hmm.
And how flashy, and the mink, and the big ass hats, and they got the velvet and the leather and
it's the truth.
It's too much, man. And also there's also this whole thing, like, even in the 90s where you gotta have the Jordans and you gotta have the Timberlands and you gotta have, So I want to encourage Black people, just stop a minute, and I'm not saying don't be you. Do your style. If you like it, you buy it, you do it. That's cool. Just think about it. Put some thought into it. Try something else. Try it. You ain't gotta be stuck with it. Try some other stuff.
This is just a little side note. There's my homeboy. Shout out to Jaron LeGrier. He has his own music studio in Akron, Ohio. But he made a post and he said, like, every artist should watch Abstract on Netflix. So I started watching it, and second episode, and it's just because you mentioned it. Second episode was about Jordan and how his shoes got created and how they came up with designs for some of his most famous
Cool.
shoes. And like, you know, some of them came out of stories that he would tell the designers. And so they would create a shoe from a story that he told them or what ways he grew up. And he would come up with ideas, but then they would come up with the ideas too. So I think that's it's either episode 2 or 3. So just because you mentioned it, check it out. It's called
Did you watch The Last Dance yet?
I watched one episode. I gotta watch it.
They talk about the shoes. You know what Jordan's favorite shoe is?
No.
Adidas. He don't even like Nike. Dude, watch this show.
Shut up, Brandon. I can't.
For real. He don't even like his own shoe. He's not a fan. Like, honestly, for real, The Last Dance is a very well-made documentary show. It is like 10, 12 episodes, but it's worth watching. It's worth binging.
I gotta get back on that because I did start it. So
yeah, you gotta keep going, especially for our age group.
Is there a show out that properly represents Black men?
And like overall, because I could definitely recommend a couple that are in specific niches.
Okay.
You know, but in terms of like, you know, the Black Man Show, no, nothing I can say right now. There might be something. If there is, definitely comment below or hit me up. Let me know what it is. If there's the Black Man Show, fine.
Show.
But
maybe there needs to be the Black Man Show.
We need to start the Black Man Show. All right. Which might be actually pretty good. If you want to be part of the Black Man Show, hit me up. Maybe we'll start the Black Man Show.
I like it.
But here's what I'll say about this though.
This was a comedy, but Real Husbands of Hollywood.
So okay, that is a comedy, and that is, you know, it's satire, which is good. That's good because they address a lot of the issues, and it's, you know, because comedy to me is a way of, it's like a Trojan horse for people, man. Satire and comedy, which has always been that way, like since medieval times, like the jester will be able to use comedy to talk about how fucked up the king is while entertaining the king. Like, you know, like comedy, it allows us to look at the problem and start to talk about it. And yeah, The Real Husbands of Hollywood was one of those things that does that. I was going to say, in terms of recommending a show to people that, and this is music heavy, but the core of it is music, but there's a lot of issues and social progression that's attached to this core. It's The Get Down on Netflix. Yeah, check that out because we're talking about The Get Down is a huge transitional period in American media between like 1978 and 82. And it really is like disco ending and hip hop starting, and there's a lot of different, they talk about, you know, the dance culture, they talk about the graffiti culture, they talk about the gay community, they talk about all the stuff that happened and changed and progressed. And like, if you do further research, it's all because the Vietnam War happened, which means that now this is when the drug thing became big in America. Because of disco, the African and Hispanic sounds and communities were involved in mainstream music now, not just doo-wop and soul, but we're talking about the drums and the percussion and all that stuff that comes into it. And it molds America and shoots us in a different direction. Just check it out. I don't even know. Just check it out. Just watch it. It's a great story. And
it is definitely a great show, for sure.
and do it, man. It's 2 seasons, it's like 6 episodes per season, and you'll be disappointed that they stopped the season 2.
Yeah. They need to bring it back.
They won't because it cost them 120 million just to do that one. But yeah, it was worth. They did it. I'm glad they did it. I loved it. There's some real life characters in it. The main characters are not, but they bring in a lot of real life characters, historical characters. Grandmaster Flash, DJ Cool Herc, African Bambaataa, a few others that were pertinent to shaping music as we now enjoy it. So, but there's a lot of stereotypes addressed, a lot of social political issues addressed that are related that you may not be aware they're related to the progression. Yeah. So, all right, we're gonna wrap it up. I did my final thought. Yeah, I did my final thought. Would be diversify your portfolio, not just the stocks, but your entire life. All right, Sherelle, what is your final thoughts on black men?
Black men, like we said, are not a monolith, so get to know them. They're different. They're different, and they're cool. And I've always been a girl who hung with a lot of guys growing up. So I had like the male best friends. Like I always had the homies. So yeah, get to know you a nice black chocolatey brother.
Yeah, Randy Watson, sexual chocolate.
Randy
Watson.
All right, so I'm sleepy. So
all right, let's wrap it up. Let's do this, man. We're gonna do this, and we'll see y'all next time.
We will. Shout out to Los. Shout out to Alicia, who is preparing for her wedding this Friday. And
awesome.
Yeah, congratulations, girl. And that's it. I'm Sherelle Unique. This is B Mike.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, if y'all got some topic you want us to cover, comment down below, like it, share it, support this. Let's make it happen, and let's continue growing.
All right, and we out.